Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about days of the spoilers. We only have 4 cards today since it rolled into the weekend. During the weekend they don't to spoiler release or streamer releases, which we did have one, so I added in this list. So we are going to start out the day by talking about an Abyssian card. This card is called Munsch, and what it is, it's a 3-mana Abyssian spell with steal health from an enemy minion for each friendly shadow creep until it dies. So this is how this card works. Because just a disclaimer before I hop into these cards, a lot of them should be worded a bit different. And I went through the forums. A lot of these are from Thanatos on how Thanatos says this is how this card works. So this card works like this. So if you have 2 shadow creep on the board and you go to steal health from a Flameblood Warlock. Flameblood Warlock only has 1 health. You're only going to get 1 health out of that, and it'll die. If you have, 2 shadow creep on board and you go play this card and you play it on a Primus Fist is 3 health. It won't die, and you will only take 2 health. So that's kind of how this card works. So even if you have 20 shadow creep on board and you go to health from an Ironcliff Guardian, you're not gonna get 20 health. You're only gonna get 10 because that's Ironcliff's max health is 10. And granted, if you played like Afterblaze or any kind of buff on the Ironcliff to make its health higher, then you're gonna get that amount of health from it. So keep that in mind. If a minion is damaged, then it will only take whatever that minion's current health is. So that's how this card works. So after talking about that, it seems like okay removal. My problem with this card is that Abyss is losing so much shadow creep support that I'm sure we're gonna see more shadow creep stuff from this expansion. They have to. Stuff rotating out. They gotta rotate more shadow creep in to keep shadow creep somewhat relevant, which I'm sure we'll see. Right now it seems it seems alright. It seems like decent removal. They need to change the wording on it, which I'm going to say that about a few cards. This is one of them. And then, I like the fact that you can kind of play this maybe even in a control cast list if you really wanted to, which seems pretty fun. Anytime you can really gain health, it's really nice. Granted, you're going to be running these Desolators, Void Pulses. You're never going to die. So maybe we could see a control cast list. But right now, don't really know where to place the card. It's okay removal. But it's right now because I don't see any other shadow creep support. And when I see other shadow creep support, then we'll kind of come back and look at this card and see if it's still playable or not. If we don't get a lot of shadow creep support, even if you're just relying on cast of a BBS, this thing's probably not worth it. You rather just run other removal. Granted, you're still gonna run Punish, still gonna run D-Lures, even though they're like semi-removal, but not really. But we'll see. We'll see where this card's land. I really don't have much to talk about it. Like I said, I need to see more of the set to kind of judge whether this card's going to be played or not. But, right now with the Shadow Creep, yeah, I think it probably would be played, Can you imagine playing a Shadow Nova, next turn play this? You gain a bunch of health back and probably kill something off, which is pretty nice. But yeah, anyway, let's keep moving on. Next card we're going to talk about now. This card I think is going to be good regardless of the rotation. This is obviously a Vitruvian card. This is Meld. It is a 2-mana card which equips a friendly artifact that was destroyed this game. Let me repeat myself. Equip a friendly artifact that was destroyed this game. This card is something I think we need for a long time in Vet. So Vet obviously has a lot of really interesting artifacts. Now if I type in Shimsar here, I actually want to see if any of these artifacts get rotated out, and we might see some artifacts. Alright, so they lose Spine Cleaver, which is pretty upsetting because that's one of their best artifacts. But other than that, man, you still got the rest of the artifacts, and we type that in. Oh, and I'm sure we're gonna see more. I'm sure we're gonna see more. So one of the decks that comes to mind when we look at this card is now you can play the Tears OTK deck, which is pretty fun because now you you can play your artifacts a little bit more aggressively, and then still have this card to back up, stacking them in your hand into like a tiers or something, you know, which is pretty cool. So now you can, you know, push up on people with your Staffs of Yakir and not worry about losing it so much, because now you can get it back with this thing, which is pretty cool. It is equipped a friendly artifact that was destroyed this game, so it is random. I'm pretty sure it's random. If it lets you pick what artifact, which I highly, highly doubt, because nothing else like that exists in the game. But if it lets you pick what artifact, that'd be even better, but I doubt it. But you can really use this card to just demolish your opponent. I think this is going to be a probably a 3 of in any artifact Saj deck. Definitely the OTK Saj deck, which you know, is very inconsistent and doesn't really see a lot of play. And I think this makes that deck a lot more consistent. We might even see some kind of fun new builds with this card, kind of like how Metallurgist, well, or not Metallurgist, I'm sorry, what am I thinking of? I forget the card's name, but how this card will allow you to get those certain cards from your deck, you know, or from your graveyard if you're only playing certain artifacts. Kind of like how oh, I remember it now. I remember it now. It's a golem. It's a golem. Now I'm so concerned on what I was talking about. Oh no, it's not a golem. I'm sorry. Man, Deceptibot. That's it. How Deceptibot, when this destroys an enemy, summon a different minion from your deck nearby. Now Deceptibot, a lot of people used it with like one other mech, so it'd pull that mech every time. So kind of same thing with this. If you're running on 1 or 2 artifacts that are really good, maybe we get a new really broken artifact, you can just play this thing and just keep playing it over and over again, because you're always going to pull the same artifact, which I think is pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, this card's definitely going to see that play. Artifact Saj is very happy right now. Kind of excited to see what new artifacts that we have coming out along with the card. Anyway, we all know this card's great. Let's keep moving on. Let's talk about our next card, which is also great. Okay, so this is Scorn. I mean, Crater. I'm sorry. I got the abilities confused. Anyway, 3 mana Magmar minion, if you can't tell by how he looks. He's a 2/4 with Opening Gambit, deals 1 damage to everything, including itself. So yeah, you have a 3 mana Scorn in Magmar. Now, if I do remember, when Scorn first released, it was a 3/4 and it was 3 mana neutral, and they nerfed that and made it a 4 mana, which was still very playable. So, do I think this card's going to see play? Hell yeah, it's going to see play. I think this is a great card. It's a great 3-drop for Magmar in certain decks. Definitely like Blood Rage decks to trigger things, or like Twin Fang decks. You know, anything that relies dealing damage to stuff is going to be awesome with this card. You know, this triggers like Earth Sisters. Not that you would, not that you'd probably run Earth Sisters, but they could. Yeah. So, obviously, the only deck that I think that really combos with right now is Blood Rage. And Blood Rage hasn't seen too much play here. I want to see what's getting rotated out that might affect this card. Because I always want to keep looking to make sure I'm not missing things. Yeah, nothing too big that bothers this card getting rotated. Like, none of these cards really work with this card anyway, so that's perfect. So, we're definitely going to see the Blood Rage decks keep going. We might even see this in old school deck that a lot of you probably know, which is Dance of Dreams, or Dance of Memes as everyone calls it, which is this deck. So, you know, with Kajada's out, and maybe this could even start the combo to get the draws or whatnot. But anyways, card's going to see play in certain decks. Not all decks, because I think as a 3-drop, you're still running Rage Binder because it's stronger. But, you know, you don't want to run Rage Binder in the Blood Rage decks, because you'd rather run this to keep the consistent combo there. But, you know, I'm just super happy. Super happy that we have it. It's going to be a fun card. And it hurts Swarm, but what in Magmar doesn't actually hurt Swarm? Everyone was complaining on forums, so Magmar already has, like, Rebuke and Mechantor and Plasma, so you were already screwed by 3 other cards, so why do you care? And most of the time, when Abyss does play Swarm, they always have Ferocia on board, so they're 2/2s most of the time anyway. But anyway, moving on. The last card of the day. Kind of excited to talk about this one. So, This is a Vanar card. This 3-mana spell, Permafrost. Stun an enemy minion. Stunned enemy minions. Stun a nearby enemy. Okay, here's one of those other cards that we need to work on the wording. Kind of confusing. Now I'll explain to you how this one works. Now, I kind of want to read this one right off the forums because this one's even confused me quite a few times. So, Permafrost, where you at? Alright, so, this is how this works. So, imagine there were 3 enemies in a row. 1, 2, and 3. If you Permafrost number 2, first it stuns number 2, and then 2 stuns a nearby enemy, either 1 or 3. Results, either 1 and 2 are stunned, or 2 and 3 are stunned. If you Permafrost number 1, first it stuns number 1, then stuns number 2, and then 2 stuns a nearby enemy, which is 2. What? First it stuns number 1, then I think they messed it up. I think it's supposed to say, first it stuns number 1, then 1 stuns a nearby enemy, which is 2. Results 1 and 2 are stunned. Yeah, I think he misworded that on here. Anyway, if you stun number 2, what? If you so this is okay. So now it's talking about if something was already stunned. So if you stun number 2, then Permafrost number 1, first 1 and 2 are stunned, then number 1 stuns a nearby enemy, which is 2, which is already stunned, and 2 stuns a nearby enemy, which is 1 or 3. Results, either 1 and 2 are stunned, or 1, 2, and 3 are all stunned. That makes sense. If you stun number 1, then Permafrost number 3, first 1 and 3 are stunned, then 1 stuns a nearby enemy, which is 2, and then 3 stuns a nearby enemy, which is also 2. Results, 1, 2, and 3 are all stunned. Okay, so it's kind of a confusing card. Just think that anytime, let me pull up my OBS here. So you stun a minion. If you have more than 1 minion stunned on the board, they are additionally going to stun a nearby minion. So keep that in mind when you're stunning things with the card. This is great Elena support. Still don't know if Elena's even playable. We're going to see a lot more Elena support, I'm sure, but this is literally going to make it so your opponent can't do nothing. Imagine playing BBS stunning something, and then playing this card stunning something else, basically stunning the whole board. We could see a very slow Vanar deck being played with this. Maybe some really late game win con Vanar card, maybe a new one that like kills all stunned minions when it you know, enters the battlefield or something. Right now, they don't really have much, you know, maybe Embla or something. But we'll see what happens with this card. Hopefully, Elena gets a lot more support. Right now, this is a good start. This is a good start. Being able to stun a lot of things is great. Great, man. And you can stun a lot of things with this card. So, I like this card. I like the direction that it's going in. Hopefully, we get more Elena support. I'm sure everyone else would agree, as that general just doesn't exist currently. Alrighty, boys. Sorry about that. My video cut out. But anyway, yeah, so if you guys want to check out these cards, go to Reddit, check out the spoiler list there, and look for anything Thanatos puts. If you guys don't know who he is, he's like the community guy for Duelist. He does everything. So anything that he writes about these cards are going to be 100% true. So he normally, on cards that are confusing like Permafrost and Munsch, he'll explain them step by step on how they work. And things like that. Additional note, which I forgot until just now, on Permafrost. If you stun a minion, and the only thing nearby them is the general can be stunned. The general can't, Permafrost can't be played on the general, but the general can be stunned off of the Permafrost. That in mind, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, other than that, like I said, check out Reddit if you guys want to look more cards. I'll be back in about 2 days with another with more spoilers. We'll probably have Mondays and Tuesdays together, most likely. That's how I've been doing them. I've been doing them in days of 2. But yeah, man, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys leave it a like, comment down below, let me know what you guys think of all these cards. I think they're pretty interesting, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. But other than that, I'm your boy Clazo. I hope you guys keep on dueling, and I'll see you guys next time.